What if the faces you've known for decades suddenly looked like different people? In today's entertainment world, dramatic weight loss transformations are leaving fans stunned, unsettled, and asking uncomfortable questions. Some call it a health revolution, others whisper about image pressure, shortcuts, and the hidden cost of fame. But behind every shocking before and after photo is a story that goes far deeper than appearance. This isn't just about weight, it's about identity. It's about aging in the spotlight. It's about medicine, survival, and the quiet battles celebrities fight long after the cameras stop rolling. When familiar faces begin to look unfamiliar, the fear we feel often says more about us than about them. Today on Secrets of Black Star, we're looking beyond the headlines, beyond the speculation, to understand what's really happening and why these transformations feel so disturbing. Stay with us until the end because the truth behind these changes may forever change how you see celebrity health, body image, and identity.
Lizzo, when body positivity meets change. Few artists in recent years have reshaped the conversation around body image quite like Lizzo. She wasn't just making hit records, she became a cultural symbol. On red carpets, on stage, and online, Lizzo championed joy, confidence, and self-love in a body mainstream entertainment rarely celebrated. For many fans, especially those who never saw themselves reflected in pop culture, Lizzo felt revolutionary. That's why her visible weight loss didn't just spark headlines, it triggered emotion. For some supporters, her transformation felt empowering, a woman choosing health and strength on her own terms. For others, it felt unsettling, even personal, raising fears about the same industry pressures that have shaped Hollywood for decades. The reaction revealed a cultural split, celebration versus suspicion. Do icons of body positivity owe the public an explanation when their bodies change? Lizzo has consistently emphasized feeling energized and strong, not chasing a number on a scale, and that distinction matters. What this moment truly exposes isn't betrayal, it's our discomfort with change. Perhaps the deeper issue isn't Lizzo's body at all, but our expectation that public figures remain frozen in time while the rest of us are allowed to evolve. Oprah Winfrey, transparency, and a world built on secrets. For decades, Oprah Winfrey's relationship with weight has played out in public, making her journey deeply personal for millions. She never sold perfection. Instead, she spoke honestly about dieting cycles, emotional eating, and the frustration of losing weight only to gain it back. That vulnerability built trust. So when conversations around dramatic weight loss and medications like Ozempic dominated headlines, Oprah's name carried a different kind of weight: history, credibility, and honesty. In 2024, Oprah shifted the entire conversation by acknowledging she used doctor-prescribed medication as part of her health strategy. That admission mattered. In an industry that thrives on secrecy, she reframed weight not as a moral failure, but as a biological challenge that sometimes requires medical support. For adults navigating aging, hormonal shifts, and changing metabolisms, her words resonated deeply. Her transformation may have startled longtime viewers, but the real impact wasn't visual, it was cultural. Oprah didn't just change her body, she changed the narrative, replacing shame with transparency and turning shock into a conversation about health, aging, and honesty. Sherry Shepherd, daytime TV, and real-time change. Weight loss in Hollywood often feels distant, revealed through carefully staged photos, but when the change happens on daytime television, it hits differently. Sherry Shepherd is a familiar face audiences have invited into their homes for years, known for her humor, warmth, and relatability. So when she appeared noticeably slimmer on her show, viewers didn't just notice, they worried. In an era quick to link transformations to medications like Ozempic, speculation followed, but Sherry chose clarity over mystery. She revealed she had been diagnosed with prediabetes, a wake-up call that forced her to prioritize health over habits. Her approach wasn't framed around appearance, it was about cutting sugar, changing routines, and preventing future illness.
What made her journey powerful was visibility. Week after week, audiences watched the change unfold in real time. That gradual shift gave her explanation credibility and grounded the story in reality, not rumor. Sherry's transformation reminds us that what looks dramatic on the outside often begins with a quiet, deeply personal health decision. Monique. Discipline, not mystery. When people talk about celebrities who look almost unrecognizable after weight loss, Monique often enters the conversation. But her story stands apart. She never hid her size. At over 300 pounds, her confidence, bold comedy, and commanding presence became part of her identity. She didn't conform to Hollywood's expectations, and she never apologized for it. So when her body began to change, the shift felt significant. Not because it was sudden, but because it was visible, intentional, and sustained. Unlike many celebrity transformations that spark secrecy, Monique made her process public. Early morning workouts, intense training sessions, sweat, and discipline filled her social media. There was no mystery, just consistency. Her evolving appearance reflects a focus on longevity, mobility, and strength, especially resonant for audiences over 45 who understand how priorities shift with age. For some, the change felt shocking, for others, inspiring. But Monique's journey delivers a deeper message. Transformation doesn't erase identity, it simply marks a new chapter. The discomfort viewers feel often reveals how tightly we tie who someone is to how they look, and how hard it is for us to accept change. Jennifer Hudson, the power of sustainable change. Few celebrity transformations have been as visually striking or as widely discussed as Jennifer Hudson's. When she first appeared on American Idol, audiences were drawn to her powerhouse voice and emotional depth. Over time, however, another narrative unfolded alongside her career, a dramatic physical transformation that left many longtime fans doing a double take. In an era where rapid weight loss is often linked to medications like Ozempic, Jennifer's slimmer appearance sparked speculation, but her message has remained consistent. She described her journey not as a shortcut, but as a lifestyle shift built around portion control, balanced eating, and a healthier relationship with food. There was no overnight reveal. The change happened gradually in step with her evolving career. For adults navigating midlife, her story feels familiar. Metabolism slows, responsibilities grow, and health becomes about sustainability rather than extremes. Jennifer Hudson's transformation reminds us that what looks shocking in photos often represents years of discipline and recalibration. The fear behind the word unrecognizable fades when we understand the truth. Bodies change as priorities change. When survival changes the body. Few moments shock fans more than seeing a beloved voice return looking noticeably different. That was the case with Kelly Price. Known for her gospel and R&B power and emotional honesty, Kelly had been a familiar presence for decades. So when she reappeared after a serious health battle with a slimmer frame, concern replaced curiosity. In today's climate, dramatic weight loss often triggers assumptions, but Kelly's transformation carried a different context. She had survived a life-threatening COVID-19 hospitalization, a trauma that reshaped her body and strength. Weight loss after severe illness is rarely cosmetic. It reflects muscle loss, appetite changes, and the long road back to stability. For many adults, this resonates deeply. Illness can alter appearance faster than any diet ever could. Kelly's story exposes how misleading before and after images can be when they erase the medical reality in between. What looked startling to the public was in truth evidence of survival. Her return to the stage wasn't about looking different, it was about being alive, healed, and strong enough to sing again. Tamar Braxton, the body as a mirror of mental health. Celebrity transformations often appear sudden, but Tamar Braxton's journey tells a deeper story. As a singer, reality TV personality, and outspoken figure, Tamar has lived much of her life under constant scrutiny. Viewers have watched her career highs, personal struggles, and emotional lows unfold in real time, and her body has reflected every chapter. Weight fluctuations in Tamar's life have often coincided with periods of intense stress, depression, and mental health challenges. These aren't abstract struggles. Emotional distress affects hormones, appetite, sleep, and energy, reshaping the body from the inside out. Yet when these changes appear on a public figure, they're quickly reduced to speculation. In an era quick to label every transformation as a trend or shortcut, Tamar's evolving appearance challenges that narrative. Her openness about mental health reframes the conversation. What seems shocking to viewers is often the physical imprint of invisible battles. Tamar's story reminds us that bodies respond to survival, healing, and instability long before words do. Change isn't always cosmetic. Sometimes it's the cost of enduring.
Debrat, aging, identity, and the long view. For fans who remember Debrat's explosive rise in the 1990s, her image feels frozen in time. Baggy clothes, athletic swagger, and unapologetic confidence. That version of her became iconic. So when audiences see her slimmer today, the reaction is often surprise, even disbelief. In a culture obsessed with quick fixes, people rush to assumptions, but Debrat's transformation tells a quieter, more familiar story. Her change didn't happen overnight. It unfolded gradually, shaped by age, lifestyle adjustments, and a growing focus on long-term health. Like many adults over 40, her priorities shifted. Metabolism slowed, recovery took longer, health became less about image and more about sustainability. She has spoken about being more mindful of diet, movement, and balance rather than chasing extremes. What feels unrecognizable to viewers often reflects how tightly we hold on to a single era of someone's life. Debrat's evolution exposes that bias. Bodies age, lives expand, change accumulates slowly until it becomes visible. Her story reminds us that growth doesn't erase identity, it deepens it. Al Roker, medicine, maintenance, and public honesty. Few public figures have navigated weight change as openly or as long as Al Roker. For decades, the beloved Today Show weatherman has been a constant presence in American homes. That familiarity made his physical transformation impossible to ignore. When his body changed significantly, viewers noticed immediately. Unlike many celebrity stories filled with secrecy, Al Roker chose transparency. He openly discussed undergoing gastric bypass surgery, framing it as a medical tool rather than a miracle cure. Over time, he also spoke candidly about weight regain, setbacks, and the reality that maintaining health is a lifelong process. That honesty resonated deeply with audiences over 45 who understand that there is no finish line when it comes to health. What people often describe as scary isn't the weight loss itself, it's watching someone we've known for decades evolve. Al Roker's journey strips away illusion. It shows that medical intervention, discipline, and accountability can coexist. His transformation isn't about perfection, it's about persistence, adaptation, and staying well enough to keep showing up. Gabri Sidibe, prevention over perception. When Gabri Sidibe first appeared in Precious, her presence challenged Hollywood's narrow beauty standards. She became a symbol of talent, confidence, and defiance against typecasting. That image stayed fixed in the public imagination for years. So when she later appeared dramatically slimmer, many viewers were stunned. In today's climate, quick conclusions follow, but Gabri's transformation wasn't rooted in secrecy. She openly shared that she chose bariatric surgery as a preventive health decision, citing a family history of diabetes and long-term health risks. Her choice wasn't about fitting an industry mold, it was about survival and control over her future. She also spoke about therapy and reshaping her relationship with food, reminding audiences that transformation isn't just physical, it's emotional and psychological. What looks shocking in photos represents years of preparation, medical guidance, and reflection. Gabri Sidibe's journey challenges the idea that dramatic change equals vanity. Sometimes it simply means choosing health before the body is forced to decide for you. Dramatic celebrity weight transformations always capture attention, but the stories behind them are rarely as simple as the headlines suggest. Bodies change for many reasons: aging, illness, mental health, medical treatment, and the instinct to survive. Yet public reaction often turns fear into judgment, revealing how tightly we tie identity to appearance, especially when it comes to familiar faces we've watched for decades. What we call unrecognizable is often just change we weren't prepared to witness. Transformation does not mean someone has lost themselves. In many cases, it means they chose life, stability, and longevity over expectation. Survival is not scandal. Healing is not betrayal. The real question isn't why these stars look different, it's why we expect them not to. As viewers, we must learn to separate image from humanity. If this series challenged the way you see celebrity health and identity, like the video, share it, and subscribe to Secrets of Black Star, because understanding the truth behind transformation may change how you see change in your own life too.